Right now, you have got a ticking time bomb in your hands that can destroy your real estate business, or if you're brand new in the business, it could just eliminate any chances of you ever getting it off the ground and being successful with it. And in this video, I'm going to reveal exactly what this ticking time bomb is, and most importantly, how you can avoid getting your real estate business blown to smithereens. Just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Cris Chico, and I've been in the real estate industry since 1990, helping brand new investors get off the ground and helping experienced investors grow their real estate businesses. I'm referred to as the godfather of virtual wholesaling, which is how to go out and find and flip properties anywhere in the USA using only your cell phone and a laptop. Why? Because I invented that back in 2007. Here's the problem. There's a new law that was just passed. It's called the Telephone Robocall Abuse, Criminal Enforcement and Deterrence Act. Short name is TRACED. It got passed in January. It's going to take effect in July. Now, this law governs everything related to text messages, to telemarketing calls, and also to ringless voicemail calls. What you're doing is you're going out, finding a list of prospects, taking and skip tracing those numbers, and then you are not scrubbing them against the do not call list on that state. You're not scrubbing it against the national do not call list. You're just loading them up into a dialer, and you're just calling away and asking them if they want to sell their property. You're also likely taking those same phone numbers, popping them into a software that is going to send out thousands of text messages, and now you're saying, oh, I'm not really doing it for commercial purposes. Again, I'm just calling these people or texting them as an individual. And you're not going to get away with that. How would you feel if you were in front of a judge and they ask you, hey, are you doing this for commercial purposes? And you have to tell the judge that you have this whole operation with VAs from the Philippines and all the staff, and you're not really calling people for commercial purposes. Is the judge going to buy that? Likely not. So think about that. You might be, say, recycling numbers and making it so that if somebody does have an issue with you, then you could just scrub the number, make it disappear, and go get another number and continue to make calls. Well, that's going to go away. Why? Because under this law, the carriers now are going to force you to identify yourself and register your business, register your phone number, so you're not going to be able to go away. So what can happen if you violate this law as a wholesaler? First of all, you can be fined. If you're not registering properly, you can be fined up to $43,000 for every single infraction of this law, which is a problem. However, number two, which I think is a bigger problem, is that right now there are people out there that their whole entire way of making money is identifying people that have sent them an unsolicited text or phone call, baiting them, and then suing them, and then asking you to settle in court because you'd rather not take them to court. Recently, I know of an investor that got filed a lawsuit against them for $35,000, and they ended up having to settle for 10 grand just to make it go away. That is the bigger problem. Yes, you got the government that may fine you, but the bigger problem is the attorneys that are out there looking for you. Can you afford getting sued? Can you afford dealing with a fine? You might be a huge wholesaler that is making millions of dollars a year, and you might say, you know what? It's okay. I'll take a $42,000 fine. Why? Because I'm making millions of dollars wholesaling properties, and it's no big deal. It's just part of doing business. But if you're brand new in the business, what would happen if you got a fine like that? What would happen if you got a letter from an attorney and now they wanted to shake you down because they want to get some money out of you because you violated the law? You have to really think about that and make a decision based around what risk you're willing to tolerate with this. Luckily for you, I have a solution for you that will not only completely eliminate this risk from your real estate business, but will put you in a better position so you have more deals with a lot less effort than you ever thought possible, and you'll then think back to yourself and say, remember those days when I used to do cold calling, but Chico got me out of that mess. So what's the solution? You have to transition from outbound marketing to inbound marketing. And so instead of being an annoying pest, which is what you are when you're cold calling and or sending text messages, you transition to being a welcome guest, because these people now want to hear from you. They are interested in your offer and are willing to have a pleasant conversation with you. When you're doing the other stuff, then you're just in the same category as every single other scammer that is trying to extract money from people, and they've got the guard up. So when I talk about inbound lead generation, I'm talking about such things as bandit signs, radio, TV advertising, bus benches. And I'm mentioning those as examples, but those are not my favorite top two. So the first recommendation for inbound marketing is direct mail. I used to do a lot of direct mail. I don't do as much as direct mail as I used to, but it is still a very viable strategy to find motivated sellers. You can send them a letter or a postcard and have them raise their hands and say, yes, I am interested in selling my problem property. Could you please call me so that we can go ahead and have a discussion around that? Now, there are some pros and cons with direct mail. First of all, direct mail is very costly. It requires you to send out a lot of mail in order to get a decent response rate so that now you can gauge and make adjustments on your campaigns. You have got to buy the list. You've got to mail the postcards, you need a phone system. Typically, you want to send out at least a couple of thousand mailers over a period of a few months, so then that way you can then gauge to see what the results are. If you pick the wrong list and or you do things wrong with the wrong media, such as the postcard or letter, you can end up losing a lot of money really quickly with direct mail. So you really have to be careful. I recommend direct mail if you are experienced and have at least $3,000 to $4,000 to push onto that marketing channel to give it the time it needs in order to get results. However, my favorite strategy right now for generating motivated sellers inbound is online marketing, because if you notice, it's 2021. There is a thing called the internet, which Al Gore invented.
Wait, Al Gore invented the internet?
Yes, Al Gore invented the internet. Did you know that?
The guy who ran for president?
Yeah.
No way.
You're not going to understand that. You're too young, Gene. You're too young. The two methods for online lead generation that I recommend are Google and Facebook. Now, Google is Google pay-per-click. When you go on Google and you would type in sell my house fast Miami, and so Google is going to show ads, and you're going to be paying per click on each of those ads if you're the advertiser. Google pay-per-click is a very good strategy. It brings you sellers that are highly motivated, that you're going to talk to and are going to want to get an offer on the property right away. The challenge is that with Google pay-per-click, it is very expensive. You can pay upwards of $50 for a single click and pay upwards of $500 just to get one lead. Now, again, that lead is a great lead. You don't need that many leads, but as a brand new investor, it might be difficult for you to spend money on pay-per-click if the requirements for a budget are $3,000 to $4,000 a month. Now, there is one way you can get around that, and that is by extending your market area. Many times when people advertise on Google pay-per-click, they advertise in a very local area, and that means that they're going to have to spend a lot of money to get leads. However, if you expand your area, so rather than say targeting the county that you live in, you're targeting the entire state or a variety of different states, or maybe even doing nationwide wholesaling, then your cost per lead is going to dramatically decrease. You're still going to get quality leads, but that's going to help you with Google pay-per-click in order to get results with that strategy. However, I recommend you starting off with Facebook. And Facebook is a great way for you to get started when you're generating leads online. The reason why Facebook is great is because it's an easier platform to learn. It's a lot more forgiving when it comes to budget requirements. You can start off a campaign on Facebook for $20 or $30 a day and have it producing leads for you. The same applies as it does to Google. In Facebook, you want to be able to expand your service area to as wide as you feel comfortable with, and maybe even going a little bit wider than that. So rather than targeting your local county, better for you to target multiple counties, maybe your entire state, or maybe a grouping of states, or even going national, and now you can get the lowest cost per lead possible. We've got clients that are advertising on Facebook and getting leads for $7 a lead all throughout the country. So it is a very affordable channel to start with. Also, the great thing about Facebook is you're getting the prospect right before they are ready to sell. Why that's important is because with Google pay-per-click, for example, the clients are ready to sell right now, but they might be filling out multiple forms with other real estate investors because they're just typing in sell my house fast, and they're seeing 3 or 4 ads, and they're typing in their information into each of those websites. And so you got to be quick to get to those individuals. However, with Facebook, they're not really actively searching for a solution to their problem property, but when they see your ad, they will respond to it, but they're not going and trying to reach out to other real estate investors. They're not in that mindset just yet. So you're getting them early because they're not seeing your ad and then another ad and another ad after that in succession. They're seeing your ad and they're not seeing another ad probably ever again, for at least for a long time, enough for you to then be able to reach out to them, have a conversation with them, and not be in competition with other real estate investors. So where do you go from here? My advice that I'm going to give you is if you are a friend and you are in the business, you really should be looking for another strategy to find motivated sellers if you're right now cold calling or using text messaging in order to find those prospects that are willing to sell their property at a discount. Number one is the strategy is going to decrease. It's going to be more difficult for you. Number two is you're putting yourself at risk of getting sued, of getting fined, and now that's going to take you steps back. Inbound lead generation is going to solve that problem, but most importantly, it's going to put a system in place for you that now works in the background. So as you are going about your day and you're doing things, you're going out looking at properties, maybe you're spending time with your family, you've got ads, you've got a marketing system that's out there working for you, bringing these leads to you that then now you can have a conversation with and put you in a position to do deals a lot easier and faster, and again, with a lot less headache and trouble than with these other methods. If you're interested in learning online advertising so that you can now generate leads for your real estate business using Google and Facebook, there's a link in the description. Click on that, and then we can have a conversation about how our team can help you with that.